when we think of the gap, as an Indigenous woman, proud to be on Indigenous land and very connected to parts of myself that, I'm still to discover, because of the system and the gaps that it's created through the woman that I am and where I've come from. And in particular, being a woman, I can connect to the matriarch in me. And, my grandmothers, both of my grandmothers were a part of the stolen gen. And there's this huge gap, that it's like, what does that even mean? Like the stolen generation. And really, we're still experiencing it today in just different forms. And when I think of the gap, it's like a holistic, like there's gaps in education, there's gaps in the justice system and the incarcerations and the deaths in custody. And I feel the gaps have kept showing and shining a light that as an Indigenous person, and in particular a woman, because there is still a gender gap, that there's not the equality in that space, that I am classed and tick the boxes, the society's boxes, because everyone wants to be put a box on things so they understand it, that I was the most disadvantaged person in the country. And I couldn't fathom that. And it wasn't until I realized, with the work that I'd done, with healing and connecting to myself and my culture and the country, that I realized that, hey, I am a living, proof and byproduct of what the gap is. And I just thought, that gives me the most advantage, because I am someone who literally lives in that space, lives in that gap. But then I was also able to see the possibilities, the opportunities, and the potential of what it's like to live outside the gap. And I think everyone plays a role in this country and society as a human being, in whatever, gaps there is. I think around the whole world, it's a whole world problem. When we talk about pandemics, that's a pandemic of the difference and the separation and the gaps between people and human beings. And it was, for me, to see reflections of the woman that you just described in your introduction, that I was like, wow, I am actually powerful beyond measure. And that's what frightens me the most. And that's what makes me powerful. And it was that moment, there's this quote of the two most important days. It's the one when you're born and the day when you figure out why. And for me, it was like, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here, to be the bridge and the communicator to the people that are in the gap and that are on the edges and the outside and beyond, to understand that we all play a role in this gap, even being, an existing thing.